Welcome to the Social for Brokers podcast. Today, I have with me one of the nicest guys you could actually possibly meet. I'm being completely honest there. And I truly believe this is one of the reasons, as well as being a fantastic mortgage advisor, manager and leader of his team, that he's built such a successful business in a very short amount of time as well. Somebody, I'm welcoming him back onto the podcast for the second time. Of course, if you're watching on YouTube, you'll have seen that beautiful face of Leigh Rowland. Welcome back, mate.
Well, thanks for having me back, Chris. And as they say, it takes one to know one, mate, because you're a great bloke as well. And so it's fantastic to be back on this brilliant podcast, which I still listen to week in, week out. So thank you very much for having me.
Oh, awesome. Right. So we're both blushing. We're
Yeah,
going to get
actually.
into today. We're going to talk about how he gets around about 50% of his business through Facebook, the strategies that he uses on a day-to-day basis, and what tools he uses as well, because it's very hard to manage social media channels every minute of every day. He's going to talk about some of the tools. And I haven't spoken to him about this before we started this podcast, but is he exploring any other channels? Because I remember we had the Weatherman of Wales on TikTok for a while. There might be something new in there. But before we get into all of that, all of the marketing and everything, I like to give the listeners a bit of a background to who you are, Leigh, and how you got to get into the mortgage game more than anything.
Okay, I'll try not to go back too far like I did last time. I think I gave.
I love that story of the. And actually, no, tell us that story as well, because that will probably lead into how you've built such a loyal following on social media.
Okay, cool. I'll take it from. I was working in a charity in Cwmbran, in the Cwmbran Centre for Young People. Worked there for quite a long time. Managed, several projects. I've always been interested in property, though, and a couple of investment properties. Always kept my eye on things. And my dad always liked property as well. So I just think it's something I inherited, maybe. And so it came to the sort of the end of as far as I could go with the charity. And I'd always fancied being self-employed. And two of the boys from football had their own mortgage company. They said to me, "Listen, Leigh, because you know so many people, and quite okay, not quite sharp. You'd be quite a good mortgage advisor." So I thought, oh, brilliant! I combine the houses and the mortgages. That was the initial thoughts, anyway. And I've done my CMAP with them. I got some experience. Then COVID came along, as you know, and changed companies due to the social media. I mentioned that before as well. They were fine, but I wanted to go in a bit of a different direction. And then another lad from football had a King Financial Services. That was Mark and Fiona, who were brilliant to me. They said, "Listen, Leigh, will you come over?" I said, "Yes, as long as I can do the social media I want to," because I didn't have any repeat business. I was a bit worried. People couldn't go out and value houses, and I had no repeat business. And they said, "Yeah, we love your social media. Just keep doing what you're doing." And
Wow.
so, yeah, I was really chuffed with that. So I went over to King Financial Services then, and they got some brilliant clients. They do quite a lot of insurance for sports teams, like professional sportsmen. But they had a filing cabinet full of mortgage leads, and they said, if you want, you can come and you can work through those if you want and generate your own business. But luckily for me, I never touched the filing cabinet.
Really, God. So
Yeah.
all off social media. We'll talk about that in a moment. Sorry, carry on.
No. And so, yeah, luckily I didn't touch the filing cabinet. And Mark and Fee, who they just won an award for the best protection brokerage in Cornerstone, I think. Might not be Cornerstone. Anyway, so they're doing amazingly well. But it came to a point where obviously they're getting a split and I'm getting a split. And I forecast if I keep turning enough over, then I could probably go on my own. And that was pretty much what was in my mind anyway. I said to Mark and Fee, "Thank you very much." And we had a had a lovely meal with our families, and they wished me well.
Oh, that's
So
nice. It's
yeah,
rare
it was
that
all right.
happens.
Oh, they're lovely, and I think I'm all right. We work well together. It just it happened a little bit sooner than they thought. That's all it was, and I had a great time with them. So then I launched. I then registered Mortgages Made Easy, which is my company, and the name was born out of the the videos I was doing at the time, Mortgages Made Easy, was the videos I was putting out through COVID. I was breaking down mortgages into simple, digestive segments, and that was the title of those videos. So I did Mortgages Made Easy and Insurances Made Simple. And luckily for me, I also went on your podcast, but then I semi-invited myself on Craig's podcast, Craig Skelton's podcast. I think
Yeah.
I always said I was flirting with him for a bit, and then he invited me on there. Luckily for me, I met Craig, and he's a brilliant guy, just like yourself. You know, we get on easily, easily, and the values are aligned. And he had my brand my way, and I sort of got the courage to ask me if I could join him on now, and he said yes. And the reason I wanted to go on now was because I've got a bit of experience with like developing teams and businesses and whatever, but financial sector wise, I was quite a novice, to be honest with you. And Craig has obviously been successful, and he just literally catapulted me forward with regards to developing Mortgages Made Easy. I took on an office, which I'm actually sitting in now, which was brilliant because at one point I launched a business, Posey was born, and we sold a house all on the same
What?
week.
Just throw in a marriage and you've done like the 5 most stressful things in life.
Mate, honestly, it was insane. It was absolutely insane. I didn't know what was going on for a couple of weeks, but next thing I knew, I had a business, an office, and a baby.
Do them all in one, then you get it all done with a month.
Yeah. So that was a bit crazy. And then I was here on my own, and it takes a bit of time, mind, when you go to a new network and a new system. So it took me a couple of months to sort everything out, and then I realized that I couldn't cope with all the work on my own. I'll be honest with you, I couldn't cope. It was just bonkers. So I needed I won't call his title is Client Liaison Manager, Jordan, who worked with me, and he's a lot more than an admin. He's not just that, and he's got a deep set of skills, which at the minute he probably underutilized a tiny bit. So he can do so much more. But so he came over, and luckily he said yes, he'd come and work for me. So then we settled Jordan. I settled Jordan in, and then we started working together quite well. And then and then it got a bit overwhelming again. So we needed another broker. So I advertised another broker on LinkedIn, and luckily Jag turned up. It was absolutely superb, and he sat within my values and my company's values, all supported by Craig underneath. Jag's now settled in, thankfully, and then I was having conversation with people. We're getting a bit old. I'm getting older now. I'm 46. A couple of people mentioned wills, and I thought, oh, let's start a wills business. So registered a wills business like December 2022, but I couldn't get it off the ground till like April 23 because I was working out the best way to do it, and we got a lawyer who works with us. So I had a meeting with a lawyer. She thankfully again said yes to coming to work with us, and that's it. Fast forward to today.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So a big team of you now, starting from nothing. And I want to just rewind because there's a bit that you said that really interested me, and something maybe we don't think about when we're posting on social media is when you asked to join King's Financial
Services.
So when you asked to join King Financial Services, obviously one of your stipulations you said was that you want to be able to carry on your social media as you were. And they said to you, yes, 100%, your social media was the one thing that made us notice you. Now, we think by posting on social media, it's purely to generate business, which is what everybody says it is. But I think what sometimes we forget is social media is also a way to show people your values. And that could be another company that wants to work with you. So is there an IFA out there that's looking to refer leads? Now, would they refer mortgage leads to somebody, Smith's Mortgages, who haven't uploaded for the last 3 months? And when they do, they just upload an article saying the base rate's gone up. Or are they more likely to refer business to Leigh, who has uploaded 3 times in the last week? There's one video about what's happened with the base rate and what happens to your mortgage. There's one video about a local football team that he sponsors. And then there's another post about a customer review. Which one is the IFA more likely to deal with? And that's exactly what's happened with you, isn't it? You have created a personal brand on social that makes you not only appealing to customers, but to other companies that want to partner with you.
Well, that's very kind of you, Chris. I never thought of it as just a lead generation
And that's where
thing
you
to
might be a bit
pursue.
different.
Yeah, I never thought of it like that. Obviously, if inquiries came from it, that was brilliant. But that wasn't. It was more about educating people about the mortgage process to start with, because
Mm-hmm.
a few years ago, people were scared. Scared. I was going to. I nearly swore again. I nearly swore on the first one as well. They were like really worried, anxious, all about mortgages. So I thought, right, let's educate them a bit about mortgages. Um, you'll never see me do blatant advertisements, to be honest with you, mate. I just talk
Yeah.
generally about mortgages, support other people. But yeah, they said to me, no, just do what you want. But especially on LinkedIn, it was more about promoting, I don't know, myself, the overall thought process, the way I act, and within my business, the way I want my business perceived, rather than trying to get inquiries. But if you haven't got any inquiries, really, you haven't got a business review. So obviously they do come in, but it was never specifically trying to bang
It's
out advertisements to get inquiries in. It was more of a two-way process with me and whoever was watching. Give them something and they might give me something back. That's what I was thinking about it.
and this is where it's funny to think inquiries are almost like a byproduct of social media
Yeah,
opposed to the main product. And this is
yeah,
where like people like yourself and the other brokers that I know of that don't do any paid advertising whatsoever
no,
because they know that the leads that come in on the back of those are rubbish. Majority, sorry, I'm going to say majority there, sorry, because they're not bought into you, they're not bought into your company. Yes, it can be used at the very beginning when you're starting a business and people don't know you from Jack down the street. But when you're building that personal brand, that's why you're posting this funny, informative, warm, personal stuff on social media because it's making people warm to you. So let's fully talk about social media now. So where did you start with social media? Talk us through how you started. Did you already have a friend base? Did you have an audience? Where did you start with it?
well, my awareness of social media started before I was a mortgage broker. So when I had the social enterprises with the charity, all of us were on Twitter as like Lee at, it was called Random. So I'd be Lee at Randoms, Luke at Randoms. And then we all just share good news messages throughout Twitter because all the funders are on Twitter. So they'd be able to see what we were doing. Whereas other
Oh, okay.
charities probably weren't that forward thinking. So we were all on Twitter going, oh, look at this. We're great. So anyway, so that's how I was aware of the power of what it could do because funders then could see straight away what we were doing. I, I was sort of on LinkedIn, but I didn't even know really what it was all about. To be honest with you, didn't know what LinkedIn was all about. Facebook, if you look through my memories, I was just using Facebook like a normal human being would use Facebook, just updating things about. I don't know. I went out last night, and that was it. Really, there was no.
Yeah.
I didn't realize, but back then there wasn't groups and whatever. But it would, yeah, just using it normally. And then as I started, once I got to King Financial Services, I started to realize that if I went out and delivered 1,000 flyers, right, it would take me 6 hours and I get, was it 0.01, something like that. If I did a good
Okay.
Facebook post, which would take me 10 minutes, I could reach 2,500 people. So the maths, the maths
No
just didn't
brainer.
work out. Yeah, it's a complete no-brainer. Once that penny dropped with me, that was it. Bang, right, here we go. And I was really conscious about the way I looked, the way I sounded. Would people laugh at me? Weird things go through your mind, right? So you're thinking,
Yeah,
oh,
too right. You're
people,
conscious, aren't you?
yeah, well, people from school think I've aged. All this
Yeah.
weird stuff, and yeah, it was mad. So then finally got like over that hurdle, and
But
then
what was the response? Sorry to jump in. What was the response when you actually uploaded those videos?
oh, unbelievable. People are so supportive, and I think
I wanted to
that
hear that.
yeah, of course they are. People just want to see people doing well, don't they? In the majority. I don't think I've had. I don't want to say it out loud. I think I've had one guy on TikTok was a bit of a dick to me, but I got rid of him. But in the, like, say, 4 years, I don't think I've had hardly any negativity at all. Even off the football boys, it can be brutal. They can be absolutely brutal. But when, you bump into people, they're like, oh, mate, that's absolutely funny. We were laughing our heads off of that one. And, oh, thanks for doing that, mate. We had that, the one with
Look,
the
people
dance.
actually
Yeah,
admire you for doing the videos instead of like take the mic, and
100%.
that's what we need to think.
100% they do. Of course you do. Of course you do. Quite you. Imagine putting yourself out there. You all these worries and concerns, and you're there putting yourself out there, telling people about your business, doing this for your family to improve your life. They all think it's great. They don't criticize you at all. Um,
Mhm.
and if there is people who do criticize you, just bomb them out anyway. Just get rid of the negativity, isn't it? Um,
Don't
but
need them.
yeah, so I've got over that hurdle, Chris, and started doing videos, uh, educational videos, basically to start with,
Hmm.
and done. I don't know how many I've done. Mortgage Made Easy. I think it was 15 in the end, and 6 insurance ones, and then just continued from. No, then it started to really pick up. Then I was just getting inquiries in left, right, and centre from Facebook on its own. And I started looking across the other platforms.
Okay, so you started doing some videos, and we started to getting really good interaction from there. How did
Yeah.
you increase the reach of the post? Did you find any algorithm hacks? Did you share them into groups? Did you tag people in? Talk to us about, and be completely honest, how did you get your post to reach so much of the local community? Because people listening to this might not know where to start and want to know the strategies of how you've done it, really.
Um, originally, it was you have to be passionate about the people who you're tagging in these things as well. You have to have something in common with them because otherwise you don't believe in it. They don't believe in why you're tagging them, and nothing will happen
Mhm.
anyway. So, say for example, the local football team, Crossy Killyoga, played for them. I got an attachment to them. I I wanted to be involved with them, and I'd done a sponsorship board, and I sponsored one of the players. So then the sponsorship board, yeah, take a photo with the players on the sponsorship board. All the players share it, and I go in their WhatsApp group and whatever else. But it's just picking organisations that you've got some passion for, and then they'll then spread it for you, and it'll just be like a knock-on effect. Is that the right saying? Is that the right
Definitely, and that
terminology? Yeah, it does take work, mind. You can't just drop one sort of post in and expect 10 inquiries to come in. You've got to keep persevering and commenting on people's other posts as well within that community. Like, say, for example, they have flash ups now with goals, don't they? So, say, for example, someone scored a goal. So, oh, well done, mate. That's brilliant. Oh, we're winning 2-0 at home. Fantastic. So, you're interacting all the time with that community. And all of a sudden, they're like, oh, this Leigh Rowland bloke. Like, why is he commenting on all this stuff? Oh, he used to play for us and now he's sponsored us on a board. He does mortgages. Oh, right. We can have a mortgage in 7 months' time. Oh, just drop him a message. He'll put you in the diary. And that's a virtual chat happening there, not a physical chat, unless they could be at the game watching it. And but there wasn't just one line, Chris. I was into loads of stuff. I was picked some really cool local people and businesses, like the branding, which I don't know if you can really see it, can you? There you go. So customize our us, do all this, do absolutely everything for us. They're amazing, and they were sort of not starting off. They were a few years ahead of me, but they were pretty good. So I got involved with them, knowing that they knew loads of all the other businesses who've had the branding done. So I'm doing like the workwear. I put all the workwear on and took all the workwear off one by one, showing all the different garments you get with the workwear. Um, yeah, I did a video for them, and then they shared that to all their followers, all their businesses which are within their network. See, and then I'm there going, "Oh, thank you for sharing, thank you for sharing, thank you for sharing, thank everybody." Even now, like this morning, no, yesterday, thank 3 people for sharing a post. Don't stop thanking people for sharing. They're doing good stuff for you. Share, just
this
thank
is
people. Be polite.
I love
Honestly,
all this. There's so much to break down in there. The first thing I want to speak about is the sponsorship. So we see so many people, and you'll see it in your local area, that will sponsor a local football club. And just because they've got their logo on the front of the shirt or they've got a board at the side of the pitch, we automatically think, right, I've spent 300 quid sponsoring that team. I should get a lead back. It doesn't work like that anymore. You need to be interacting with the club. So what Leigh said is he sponsors that club. And then whenever they announce there's a goal on Facebook or an update about a charity do or something, Leigh's in there in the comments commenting. And this is where you can't just leave the post to do its own thing. You need to get involved with it. And then like Leigh said then is, say if he sponsors the kit, say if it's only 15 of the people that play for that football team share that. If they've got 200 friends each, you're reaching such a bigger audience because you sponsor that team, but you also interact with those posts. So I think the lesson there I want everybody to learn from that is don't just rely on giving sponsorship money. Get involved with that person that you've sponsored. And like you said, it's got to be something you're interested in, someone you genuinely want to see do well.
Yeah. Just a quick tip: if you're going to sponsor a player in a rugby team, right? Sponsor the kicker. Sponsor the kicker because the kicker kicks the conversions and he's on there all the time. He's on there all the time. So sponsor the kicker because he'll come up 4 times and the try scorer comes up once normally. Yeah, so try and get the outside that. Try and get the outside that value for money. Yeah, so it comes down to it's all about interaction and obviously finding pleasure in watching people develop and teams develop as well because I'm really into that. And they've all got a bit of a personal connection for me. I don't I don't. I know. I know Lee Flanagan is really passionate about going into teams and giving not like a team talk, but telling the guys in the changing room or in the. I can't do that as much as Lee has success with it.
Yeah.
He's amazing. He's reached out. We haven't actually caught up properly, but he has asked me if I wanted to have a chat with him a couple of times, and we just missed each other. But just let you know, Lee, I can't do that, mate. I can't do that. So I got to do a bit more of a subtle approach where I sponsor the boys. I can talk to footballers anyway, because I've been a footballer, but I let them generally get to know me through the Facebook posts and updates and congratulating them, and then it's sort of I can sort of get it. They start interacting more with me and I sort of know they're interested in my services, and that's when then I can sort of say, "I mate, you how's it going?" or whatever, and then they come to me and open up then, and they need some things. And
so you use that softer approach by commenting on their stuff on Facebook, putting yourself front of mind. So when they do think either I need a mortgage broker, oh, we'll go and see Leigh, or who's this guy, and somebody else says well, that's the mortgage broker that's sponsored us. It's almost like that. Let them have the conversation first and find out who you are to come to you.
Yeah, the good one about the sponsorship boards I put up on the football pitches is they've all got my photo on as well. I've just gone for it. Yeah, they got my actual. Unfortunately for the people playing football, they got me looking at them while they're playing. But I have put my photo on those ones and the contact details, not just the contact details. So if I do walk past the games on, they also I wrote, "Oh, Lee, how's it going, mate?" And some of these people maybe I've forgotten because I get a bit older, like I said, but they recognise me before I even know they are.
That's having that local personal brand. So we've talked about how the sponsorship helps and how you integrate social media into that. But let's get into the nitty gritty. So you fire up your phone in the morning, you open Facebook. How much time do you think you spend on Facebook, either interacting, posting, replying messages? How long do you think you spend per day on social media?
On social media or Facebook? Sorry, Chris.
So we say Facebook, sorry, media. For the interaction purposes.
Sorry, my apologies. I'd probably say about an hour now. It was 2 hours when I first spoke to you back in June, but it's only an hour now because I'm doing like half an hour on LinkedIn. So, but if we're talking specifically about Facebook, I interact with people, but I'm sort of doing two things at once. But I just was going to say, social media is part of my working day now, Chris.
That's okay. That's interesting. That's really interesting.
I don't. I was going to say that to you. I don't feel guilty about my social media and taking the time to do it because of the return I get with regards to the inquiries and whatever. So I don't write it off as wasted time or time I shouldn't be spending doing it because it's part of my working day. And that's quite early in the morning. I tend to do that. Or when Posey's gone to sleep and Freddie's just chilling, I try and do a bit. So I say about an hour a day on Facebook and probably about half an hour on LinkedIn. Just thanking people, posting bits which I might, yeah, some of the stuff you probably laugh at, which I make up myself. We we put a I do the Mortgage Broker Bulletin on Craig's podcast, which goes out on a Wednesday, but I use that material to go out on a Monday. So I do the Mortgage Broker Bulletin on a Monday. We have Will's post educational post on a Wednesday, and then we have a referrals on a Friday. And obviously, in between that, I try and dream up like funny stuff or just entertaining stuff, which entertains me more than anybody else, I think. And
Yeah.
I'm just literally like in people's comments and saying thank you or how are you. You know, if I haven't seen him in a while, I'm genuine as well. I don't like say I haven't seen you in a while. I'm on the comment. I say, "Oh, how are you, Chris? How are you?" You know, and it's just it's not to
Start that
it's no,
conversation.
yeah, exactly. So I'd say an hour, and it is liking, commenting, posting. But I tell you what I do feel now is guilty sometimes when I can't really post something without unless I've helped somebody else by commenting or sharing or liking.
Oh,
Feel a
wow.
bit
Okay.
selfish. Yeah, I do feel a bit selfish. When I wasn't very well, I had COVID. I didn't fancy posting anything at all. I couldn't really get my head around it. You know, when you have too much going on,
Hmm.
I was still working. And I thought, all right, what I'll do now, I'll put a post up. I thought, well, I can't really, because I haven't really interacted with anybody to earn that like or that share for that post, which I'm going to be putting up. That's how deep you can get into it, really. And I don't think
Wow.
that's a bad thing. I don't think that's a bad thing
Not at
because that
all.
shows that you care about the people that you're interacting with, although it's virtual. It is like it is it is your own little town or your own little community, isn't it? And you don't want to take. You've got to give and take, haven't you? So yeah, it's an interesting
What
dynamic
I
in my mind, really.
what I
Yeah,
really like about that, there's a few things to unpick there. The first thing is you're not guilty about doing social media anymore because people used to think it was a waste of time, but you would have felt absolutely fine spending 2 hours leafleting. So social media has replaced that. That's the first thing. And then the second thing is what you're doing is you're putting being social with your audience above your business needs. But you know, in the long run, that being social is going to help your business in the long run.
100%, spot on.
And that's
It's always been the same for me. Sorry, Chris, after you.
no, no, no. That's exactly what I was going to say. It's all about being. It's it's helping others before you help yourself. But in the long run, it will help you.
Yeah, exactly. And if I can help other people along the way, and we see all these like yourself, like I was when we were speaking just before, and I don't embarrass you again, but I'm so chuffed that you're going in the right direction as well. We were talking about development and whatever else, and I'm just you can see I go a bit red
It's
now,
just
but like
happen. Yeah,
yeah, just happy for other people to do well, and if that manifests itself in me doing well as well, then fantastic.
and you can
Uh,
see that on social media. The other thing that I really like is, and a lot of people can learn from this listening, is you've got a structure to your social media posts. So you know every week you're going to be posting a Monday, a Wednesday, and a Friday. Now,
yeah,
if you don't manage to do the funny video because you've got COVID or do something else, you know that you're going to have those 3 posts going out every week, aren't you? And
exactly.
I think that takes a lot of the mental pressure off. Oh my gosh, what am I going to post this week? What am I actually going to post? You know, you've got Monday, Wednesday, Friday covered. So anything above and beyond that is bonus, isn't it?
Exactly. I tell you what, that was quite a nice feeling when I organised that for the Monday,
Was
Wednesday,
it?
Friday. Yeah, it was because exactly what you just said. It's like you do worry because you've got it's a bit of responsibility on yourself for your business and also for people who expect you're going to post as well. So they think, oh, where's he gone? Uh,
Yeah.
and so then you're trying to dream things up or you're not planned effectively, and then all of a sudden you get into a bit of a I don't know, get lots of pressure on you, and then all of a sudden you post something which might not be great. And don't get me wrong, I've posted some right stinkers over the years, but you just don't need the head work, and you can crack on with other more productive things within the business and think of fresher ideas for the social media stuff.
Yeah. And then when it comes down to obviously creating content takes a lot of time, creating the post, sharing it, scheduling it, that type of stuff. What I noticed with your social media posts, and I haven't told you going to speak to you about this, was I see that you use a lot of local businesses.
Yeah,
So you had a photo shoot and somebody did some lovely photos of you and the family and it had been shared. Now, I'll tell you what I've seen from it as a benefit, but have you seen any benefit from using those local businesses?
Well,
in
yeah.
terms of a business?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think you're on about basically all the ones that we sort of do some work with, or we share their profiles, or I share their profiles and just wish them luck, or say please interact. They all do their mortgages and protection with us. It just
Class.
it does, and that all of them, literally all of them. So, and that's not because they've done it with us. It's just because the relationship's there, and now you've had a bit of a chat with them anyway. Oh, listen, Lee, can you share this for us? And I go, yeah, of course I will. And just because you say in a way you interact with people, they want to then do more business with you in the future, don't they? So yeah, all of them, literally all of them.
See that. So that's what I was going to say. They're all business owners. They're probably in a position where they can get a mortgage, but they need somebody to help them. Now, thinking of two scenarios here, if you're listening to this, the first one is you run a company called Smith's Mortgages and you don't interact with the local community. You don't share any of their posts. You just put out there, I can help you with your mortgage. I've got an appointment on Wednesday. Friday, I can help you with your mortgage. You put out 10 posts over the next 2 months and say to people, look, I can help you with your mortgage. Those companies don't have any reason to get in touch with you. But instead, if you go and share 10 companies' posts and say, go and follow these guys, interact with them. I love the photos that these guys are doing. The cakes that these guys produce are fantastic. Get your turkey from this local butcher's. How many of those business owners do you think, or what's the probability, what's the chance that they're going to speak to you about their mortgage? It's a lot bloody higher.
Much higher. And the thing is, when you share these things as well, I try and do a little bit of research on the actual company. Like, I don't just share it and say, oh, he's got the butcher. Let's just go for something funny. Oh, he's got great sausages. Like that. So I'll go, oh, family business, sort of 1969 started. Let's support this local business and uh, keep keep the keep the money in the community. Something like that. I won't just say go and buy the sausages.
Go and buy.
It's nice.
But you'll do a bit
nice.
of a post.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'll put some kind words. I'll do a little bit of a post about the business, and then people see you doing that, and then they'll do that for your business as well. That's why we get so many shares. Is I think because people think that we're kind. I think
You're
that's why
part
people
of that part of that local community, and they want to see you succeed. But on a technology level, whenever Leigh shares, say Smith's Butchers, he shares Smith's Butchers post. It shares it to his audience, but also Smith's Butchers gets a notification on their phone saying Leigh Rowland has shared one of your posts. Now, there is no other way that Leigh can put his business name in that person's phone other than sharing the post. So even if they don't interact with that, they can see Leigh Rowland's name. And then they might see a social media post a couple of months down the line. Then they go to football and see his name on the side of a board. Then their friend that runs the bakers then says, oh, have you spoken to that Leigh guy? And he's like, bloody hell, this Leigh is everywhere. I'm just going to use him because he's front of mind. And that is where sharing local businesses stuff on social media is so powerful. And the last thing I want to close off on is the old birthday messages.
Yeah, God, they're getting harder to keep up with. They are. It's like people having 3 birthdays. I'm still doing it. I am still doing it.
So tell the audience exactly what you do.
Right. Okay. I go in red. If anyone they watch this now as well, don't they? I haven't started going red all the way through
this. This is on YouTube now, mate. Yeah. No, but go red in a good way because it's something that you're very well known for in your local area and it helps put you on the map as a mortgage broker.
Yeah. So everybody, not just who we've done business with, all my friends, anybody who's got a birthday, and his majority, I've done most of the mortgages anyway. So what I do, I wish them, everybody who's got a birthday, wish them happy birthday every single year because it's going on for years now. But then I always put the keys and the house emojis so they know if they can't remember who I am from ages ago, they now know why is he put the keys in the house? Oh, it's Leigh, he's done the mortgage, or it's Leigh, he's the mortgage advisor. And he already owns Mortgages Made Easy. And that seems to work as well. It's cheesy, but it does work.
No, it works. And this is the thing. Leigh wishes everybody a happy birthday on his Facebook. And it just keeps you front of mind. You think somebody takes out a 5-year fix, they're seeing your name at least once a year, aren't they?
Well, once again, and Chris, what I should mention is thanks to you, we've got quite strong branded colours now. So listened to you for ages, so you know as well as I do. We got green and red for Wales, and when I do wish him happy birthday, my face comes up and it's got green and red behind it. So the brand colours are everywhere. So I got to thank you for that. There's loads of things I need to thank you for, but the colours, the colouring one was just genius, mate. Absolutely genius, and
Oh,
that's
thank you. It's
well,
not, you know what I mean? I didn't dream it up. I've just always been a very strong color person. Um, just
no, but
so
you're the one who brought it to our attention in the brokering world. I'm sure you did, and so I can't thank you enough for that. I'm sitting here now, and if I look left, I got my green lights and my red lights around my window, so people can see them from the road. You might be able to see it shine on my face.
I can see
Maybe.
actually, yeah, you've got your
Yeah,
green
there you
shine on
go.
the face. So
Yeah, there
whenever
you go.
anybody drives past your office, they see your branding colors, don't they? And it
100%.
it just Leigh does everything that we talk about, and Leigh's not one of our clients. He just takes our tips and he talks about does everything that we talk about to take him to the next level. But there's so much stuff that people can take from this episode, especially on Facebook. And the thing is, Leigh will use it on a personal level. So even though he's got Jag who does the appointments, people might approach Leigh for the appointment. How do you find it saying to somebody, look, I'm fully booked, but I'm going to put you in front of Jag, who's fantastic experience. How do you find that interaction? Because I know a lot of mortgage brokers that are maybe on their own at the moment, they might quite find it hard to release that control to give to somebody else.
I don't find that they're releasing the control the problem. It's just all about the client, Chris. I'm more
Okay.
worried that the client's going to think that I've like abandoned them or don't want to work with them
Sorry,
anymore. Or
that's what I meant. Yeah, yeah. How do you
yeah,
get over that?
just be honest with them. Literally, I've done. I think it's three yesterday. I turned around and I've known them for quite a while, and I said, "Listen, would you mind?" And but I can back it up. We've Jack got 15 years mortgage advice experience, and he's amazing, and I wouldn't have anybody working for me who I wouldn't let do the mortgage myself, my own mortgages. So would you mind? And they were all like, "No, don't be daft. We completely understand." And I say, "Oh, fantastic. Well, Jag will be in touch." It isn't the control thing's not the problem. It's letting the client down. What is interesting is when you go from being if we quickly go a minute, going from like being a sole self-employed mortgage broker to having a business or a team, and then all
Mhm.
of a sudden, um, you create your own Mortgages Made Easy, for example, Facebook page, World's Made Easy Facebook page. We've still got your own Facebook page.
Mhm.
Uh, Trying to pull yourself away from trying to reclaim your Facebook page. Um, I'm not really doing it. I I didn't want to do like a competition to get people to go with the Mortgages Made Easy. We see people giving away, but I wanted it to grow
Mm.
organically. But I still can I'm not going to leave Leigh Rowland. I'm not going to leave Leigh Rowland as like non-mortgage, but I am going to try and get gradually move stuff over to the Mortgages Made Easy page. I just did a video. I was honest with people. I was saying, listen, I'm going to try and take this down a notch now on my personal page, but I just can't help myself. And people are contacting me anyway. So I think I think I actually like it, to be honest with you. So
Well,
although
as
we'll
long
have
as you're utilising both of them, what will happen though in
yeah,
the future? Like I think Facebook are leaning more towards these business pages. They're maybe going to reward them by pushing it out to more people.
yeah,
So you are along the right lines, but you like doing the personal stuff, and that's what's helped you build that business in the long run, hasn't it?
yeah. I'm smiling to myself now, so I sort of contradicted myself a little bit. So I go around in a circle, but I yeah, yeah. So anyway,
Look,
things are
it
going.
works for you, doesn't it? And it's
Yeah,
obviously done very well, mate. As a thank you for coming on, we like to donate £10 to a charity. So, which charity would you like us to make the donation to?
the same one as last time. Swansea Music Arts Digital. Just a shout out to them. I think they got the Quality Youth Work Assessment for the Bronze Award yesterday awarded. So that's a
Oh,
great achievement
fantastic.
for all the guys. Yeah, so that was amazing. I was luckily for me, they were going to sit in a board meeting on Wednesday last week, and they'd already got enough information, so they didn't have to interact with me. So it went well.
Keep quiet. No, that's awesome. We'll make that donation. Well, Leigh,
Thank you.
thank you so much for coming on again. Really do appreciate it. I'm not going to leave it 2 years next time. Can't believe it's been 2 years since I last had you on.
Oh, not gonna lie, it's just gone so fast, hasn't it? I can't thank you enough for not just for letting me on the podcast, like just all the information you've given me over the years, mate. All the calendar, which I got the weekly emails are fantastic, and I
Oh,
really
awesome.
mean that, mate. And I I wouldn't. I don't think I'd be sitting here now with all the branding and all the colours if it weren't for you. So thank you very much, mate. Really appreciate it.
Wow. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. Leigh, thank you very much. And we'll definitely have you back on again soon.
Nice one, Chris. Have a good evening, mate.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.